Welcome to the Frugalpreneur podcast. I am your host, Sarah St. John. This episode is what I refer to as a showcase episode where I feature a bootstrapped entrepreneur and they briefly share their tips, tricks, tactics, techniques, and tools that help them bootstrap their business and the successes and failures along the way. My hope is that each of these showcase episodes will provide at least one valuable takeaway that you can implement right away in your own bootstrap business journey. Now, on to the episode.
All right. So my background is actually in sales and management. I started my professional journey in France and then moved to Canada, Western Canada. I was in sales. I think sales is a very important skill to have. So I've worked hard in growing it. I've done some door-to-door sales. I've done some even recruiting and training sales team, managing sales team. And long story short, moved to Western Canada, started my first business. I still have it to this day. It's a cleaning company named Steammates. We have two branches now in Halifax and in Ottawa. And what I discovered is that I find myself being more an entrepreneur than anything else in the sense of finding opportunities and digging into it and finding ways to make it work. And so I discovered a new opportunity about 2 years ago with a company named propertyguys.com that wanted to expand internationally. And so I've decided to start a new venture to help them in that process. So I'm in franchise development currently in Massachusetts for propertyguest.com. So I'm looking for franchisee for people who want to start their first business or their 10th business in the real estate sphere. And this way championing the property guest model in their local community. And so this current position and venture that I have is a perfect mix of everything that I've worked towards. So not only sales and marketing, even some recruiting, some selecting the best fit. But on top of that, it allows me to work fully remotely. I enjoy traveling the world as I'm working, and that's what I'm currently doing. So for my first business, the cleaning company, I didn't have much money to invest into it initially. So I've decided to simply get my hands dirty and start from scratch. So I purchased just a few supplies, gathered some initial clients, and went to do the job myself, not only to learn the job, also, create some processes and systems that I can then quickly delegate. When I hire a team, I can delegate each of those tasks. At first, I had to do it myself, and I grew the business exclusively on the profit and exclusively on free channels to get some leads. So a lot of networking, some door to door, some cold calling, and just being out there and getting referrals, getting some clients on Facebook, on Kijiji, Craigslist, those kind of places where you really don't have to spend money or not much money. And I've done that for the entire first year. We didn't even have a website and we grew really, really quickly. You don't need to invest that much, at least initially, to get the business started. What matters is to actually get started, to either purchase some supplies or something that will get you to, in a way, burn your ship. There is no going back. It's a do or die type of thing. You're in it. So once you jumped into it, once you're in it, you get this extra burst of motivation to make it work. But you don't necessarily need to invest a ton of money to get started in most businesses, most service businesses in particular. But anyhow, that's what happened for the first business. And similarly for the second one, I did have more capital to invest, but I needed a lot more. So I've decided to try something I've never done before, which is fundraising, which is finding investors. And similarly, just getting hitting the ground running and starting with friends and family, and then expanding to my network. Anyone that I knew that had some kind of wealth or had some kind of interest in investing into a business, into a good opportunity. So a lot of reaching out, calls, let's go grab a coffee. I have something I'd like to run by you. Doing that consistently, along the way, learning what I needed also to present to those potential investors. I had nothing besides an idea. But then I started, a little business plan, something very basic, some projections, spreadsheet, and just going with that and your energy, your drive, your passion, your vision for that venture. So we managed to raise all the funds that I needed in under 6 months. And those were the funds, the capital that the bare minimum that was needed to buy whatever I needed to buy to get started and to operate it then for the next 6 months to 1 year without any kind of personal income or salary. I was intending to start paying myself once the business is successful, once we generate some good profit. And it took about a year to reach that point. But having those different levels of pressure, quote unquote. So the pressure of obviously, I need to make money for myself, but also I need to make money for my investors. I don't want to disappoint them. A lot of them are friends or family. And even if they're not, I don't want to disappoint people who have trusted me and invested in me as well as in this idea. So having this healthy pressure on your shoulders doesn't leave any space for any kind of laziness or procrastination. I really enjoyed that experience so far. So biggest success, I would say, was with my cleaning company because I was very much out there. And I was present in lots of platforms that are free, very active on Facebook, as I said, on Kijiji and Craigslist, and even in my network, all my friends and my business network knew exactly what I do. I was getting lots of referrals this way. So anyways, my two biggest clients of all time in my cleaning company came from those free channels. I probably never would have got those large accounts from other paid ways, but by being out there and by being present on all those platforms and being known all around me as the top cleaning company in the city, we got two massive clients that really took the business to the next level very early on. We're talking, the first one was in the middle of the first year, and the second one was in the middle of the second year. So very early on, those large accounts really allowed the business to go to the next level. And in addition to that, having no debts, the business to this day has no debts. And therefore, when I sold half the shares a few months back, it was a very easy sale because the business has had a lot of value from that standpoint. Now, in terms of biggest failure, quote unquote, I would say that I probably skimmed a little bit too much so I didn't know the value of a bookkeeper. I've never had a bookkeeper. And so what I had was an accountant that I thought would provide the equivalent service to a bookkeeper. And I was using QuickBooks. I was like, that's enough. But I realized a few years later, sorry, actually very recently, that I should have had a bookkeeper from day one. And that would have been a much, much better decision to have a bookkeeper within the company. It would have been extremely helpful in many ways and also would have saved us a lot of money, a lot of expenses, and even some issues if I had a bookkeeper from day one. So that's a big advice that I would give. Get a bookkeeper very early on for your business, someone professional, skilled, and experienced that can help you grow your business. My biggest advice is to get out there in sales, direct outreach, cold outreach, and networking. So anything that is you presenting your business, meeting people, having one-on-ones, having virtual coffees, and getting leads and referrals this way. This is free. And if it's done well and consistently, and it's obviously a skill to develop and something to learn, but you can get very valuable clients and also insights and advice along the way for no money besides your time, your involvement. So a lot of people do relinquish being out there, calling people, quote unquote, bothering people, and they end up spending a lot of money with a coach, a consultant, different type of lead generation, and so on and so forth. When it's all things that can be done by the business owner, by the entrepreneur himself for no money and often a lot better results because as the face of the company, especially early on, you are the face of the company. You should be the one calling people. You should be the one presenting your business in various networking groups, etc., and approaching people, whether it is on LinkedIn, on social media. There are so many ways to get clients and to get started for free, very much for free. So that's a big, big advice that I'd like to give. If you are not experienced or skilled in sales or communication, that's fine. You can learn as you're doing it, fake it till you make it. It's a skill that you develop by doing it. You can watch all training that you want, but until you actually do it and fail and repeat and get back up and get back out there, you will never gain that skill and that experience. So very important to be out there and get things done. For someone who's looking to start a business, whether it is their first business or their 10th business, they're looking for a new business opportunity and they want to be their own boss, but they don't know necessarily what to do or how to start. Franchise is a very, very good option because you start under the umbrella of suitable brand, set systems and processes that have been perfected over many years and the knowledge and support of many franchisees that are already successful that can guide you along the way, as well as whole team at home office, marketing and legal and coaches, so on and so forth. So franchise is a very, very good option, a lot less risky than just starting a business from scratch. It has a much, much higher rate of success, statistically speaking. In particular, if you are interested in the real estate industry, I highly recommend checking out Property Guys, propertyguys.com. I'm personally in charge of franchise development in Massachusetts, but I'm also helping in the states of Texas, Florida, and Connecticut. So if you have any kind of interest in real estate and owning your own business, even if you have no background in real estate or in business, but you have that drive and energy and enthusiasm that entrepreneurs must have, definitely check out Property Guys Massachusetts. You can go on propertyguys.com or propertyguysfranchise.com. Those are two different websites that you can check out. And you can also get a hold of me on LinkedIn, Karim Kerachni, or even just shoot me a text at 857-308-1234. And I'd be more than happy to guide you whether towards a Property Guys franchise or even just in general, help you along the way. If you are starting a business and you have some questions and you want some kind of guidance, I'm very, very open to any kind of discussions, and bringing value to anyone around me is something that really drives me. So don't hesitate.
I hope you enjoyed that episode and were able to take away a valuable nugget of information that you can implement right away in your own business. If you feel your story would be valuable for the listeners of this show, please visit frugal.show/guest.